track at the World. We are tied. Look at this. He's slamming it forward. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Armstrong with a big leg. Over for the cover. He got it. Unbelievable. High fly ball into right field. She is gone. Austin, he got it. The starter. Mike Tyson in. Austin is the champion. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Now the 2-2. Well hit down the left field line. Way back in. Touch the ball, Drew. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life. He puts that ball in the net. No! No! Don't do it! Oh my God, no! Mankind did it! Nick Foley did it! No! Stone Cold did it! Mankind has achieved his dream and the dream of everyone else who's been told you can't do it! No! You can't do it! You can't do it! No matter what, got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
What's up, Connection? Welcome to the WAR Wrestling Above Replacement. I am JT. Joining me as always, my good friend Marcus, and we are here to break down every pay-per-view in WWE company history, and we're going to stack rank them all using our special brand of weird science for you all. This podcast is simulcast video on YouTube on North South Connection, audio on all podcast applications beside those losers at Spotify, and I do nudge you toward watching this one on YouTube. There's a lot of cool graphics that tell the story as we go through the pay-per-view, a lot of different numbers and rankings and categories, statistics. It just finds it a little bit easier to maybe track it if you can see it. And also the graphics are tight. They're sweet. They're cool. They're all created by our producer, not the tool man, Mr. Tim Taylor, who's with us as always here tonight. And he'll be helping us as we march toward another show, Marcus. Also, we are covering the 1995-1996 season. We'll get into the season concept in a moment. That means this is part of No-So 95, and that is a year-long stretch project we've been doing, paying tribute to the year 1995 in pop culture, wrestling, sports, and beyond. You can check out all that content in our archives, and we're finishing strong here by covering the 95, and back most of the 1995 calendar year in pay-per-view, WWF pay-per-views. So, all that out of the way, Marcus, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm still in the festive spirit for this time of year. Representing Papa Shango.
Wore my Shango shirt.
Yeah, could have been twinning again. This is a top tier, god tier t-shirt pod, by the way. So all the mods gonna check us out on YouTube. But other than that, I'm doing well. How are you?
Not bad. I have my Nashville shirt on, fitting for tonight.
Oh, nice.
SummerSlam 2022. So there you go. On the way. And yeah, we are covering Your New House 2 tonight here on the show. And we mentioned it before, we are doing this in a seasonal format. That means we pick any given season. We kind of randomize that order. And the season starts with the first pay-per-view following WrestleMania in any given year, and it wraps up at WrestleMania the following calendar year. So this season began with In Your House 1. We'll end with WrestleMania 12, and then we'll move on to a new season as we roll along. And we're going to be breaking down all the matches and the show itself in the multitude of categories to help us stack rank all these pay-per-views. And to further explain how this show works, we'll throw it over to producer Tim.
Welcome to WWE WAR. I'm producer Tim. JT and Marcus have taken on the noble task of finding the true answer to the age-old question wrestling fans have debated for years. What is the greatest WWE pay-per-view of all time? To find the answer, WAR looks to explore each and every pay-per-view using a plus-minus scale at a baseline average on several categories, including match quality, build, commentary, atmosphere, notable moments, card structure, and rewatchability. The magic number to remember for WWE WAR is 2.5. That's the baseline number for an average replacement level match. Any grade higher or lower than 2.5 raises or lowers the average WAR score. For example, if JT and Marcus give a match a 3-star rating, then that match is 0.5 points above replacement. Add all of those totals up to get your nice round number to give you your match quality grade. There's also a bonus. If there's a match that is 4.25 or higher or 0.75 or lower, that match receives plus or minus points respectively for either an all-time great match or an all-time bad match. By the time we're done, we will have composed the most comprehensive list ever for WWE pay-per-views to give you the answer of what is the greatest WWE pay-per-view of all time. Take it away, boys.
Don't fret, Producer Tim. You carry us on this show weekly. We pick you up when we need to pick you up, buddy.
All right.
We'll get more of that later. We'll play it to end the show for sure. All right, so there's the rules. We're going to go ahead and dive into In Your House 2, one of the rare pay-per-views I can actually see live at this time. I think I watched it like a few days later. I had something that night. Who knows? Oh, July 23rd is probably St. Mary's Day, the festivity I still have to this day. It was probably a party of my aunt and uncle. So I think I went over to my buddy's house like a couple days later, slept over, and we watched the show. The Lumberjacks is the subtitle. July 23rd, 95, the Nashville Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee, 6,482 in attendance. The WWF had done Lumberjack matches prior to this. It is the first time, though, it occurred on a pay-per-view. And the previous televised match featuring the Tonka and Crush in May 1994 Raw seems to have been the last time that we had one of these before this. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in to our show with our first match, and that is the Roadie taking on the 1-2-3 Kid. And we're already starting better than King of the Ring. This is a nice little match to start with. The Roadie is working his way up the card. It's a big night for the Roadie and Jeff Jarrett. Like, if you hate Jeff Jarrett, this show is not the show for you because this whole thing is built around him. And it's in Nashville for a reason. Baby. It's around him, the King of the Mountain, and the Road Dog. And Roadie has a good little showing here. Kid's back in action after the neck injury that knocked him out for a bit. And he puts on a good match. This is a good use of the Kid in an opener here. And Roadie actually gets the win, which I would phrase as a bit of an upset. And there's a couple of cool spots in the match. You get the crotching of the post that he does. And then the finish is a pile driver off the second rope, which is pretty edgy for the time, especially given Kid's neck injury. So, like, it's a pretty risky move to break out here on pay-per-view, but it executes well with 2 3/4. Perfectly fine pay-per-view opener.
Yeah, 3 for me. These guys are moving, they're humming. And like you said, a couple unique bumps and risks taken during this match. You mentioned Kid's signature bump with the ring post crotching and the top rope pile driver. Insane to see. Even, that's not even a move you see a lot now, let alone in 1995 WWF. So 3 for me, a much better showing for the Roadie as opposed to King of the Ring.
All right.
And it gets the night started off right, as you mentioned, with Jeff Jarrett and the Roadie up. It brings us to match number 2, though, as we have Men on a Mission taking on Razor and Savio Vega. This, of course, is a follow-up to the beatdown Men on a Mission put on Savio and Ramon back at King of the Ring to close out the King of the Ring tournament. We have, I went 2.75 for this match, and we have Men on a Mission up in this one. Continuing to try to build Mabel. So not too big of a surprise to see Men on a Mission up in this one. But a lot of work being done as well to bring in and try to establish Savio, just to have him be a guy to put over
Mabel twice.
Twice. So again, a lot of trying to serve many masters this summer. We saw it with Michaels and Kama. We're seeing it again with Savio Vega and Mabel. But you got Razor in there this time to help bring it up a little bit. So
yeah, and like we talked last episode about ways they could have better used Babel and put him over, and this is one of them. Like, take away the King stuff and just work him slowly up the card. This is a good way to establish men on mission as a heel act. Have him go over Razor and Savio, go over Razor's banged up ribs. Savio can take a loss. Like, this is a much better way to go about things than what they did at King of the Ring. Like, this made sense, worked in the setup that they were doing, and it gives the men on a mission a quality win. So 2.25. I remembered it as better, but I had a hard time kind of getting to it this time around. But still, it was perfectly fine. All right, our next match is well, Bigelow got his big main event at King of the Ring, one of the worst main events of all time, and he slides down the card here to battle the Hog Farmer Henry O'Godwin. Godwin had been linked to the Mid-Out Corporation, kind of been doing dirty work for DiBiase, not really accepted into the corporation just yet. DiBiase kind of kept using his services, and one of them was to take out Bigelow here. This is not much. It's about what you'd expect it to be, just kind of a brawl that doesn't ever really get into the next gear. Bigelow does get the win. Kind of a weird finish too. Hank does like the knee drop and like bangs his knee on the mat. And Bigelow just rolls him up. So it's not even like a dominant win. I went 1.75, and Bigelow's clearly flailing. Like, as we'll see, he's not even at SummerSlam, which is crazy. So like the slide has begun, the deep push. Every season, if you're new to the show, every season we get the guy that looks like he's going to be the world beater for the season and like headed careening toward Mania. They're like off the map, We see it all the time. So with Dolph Ziggler last season we did. Bigelow's about to be in that next territory where he's the top guy coming out of Mania, and by the next Mania he's gone.
Yeah. Political hit, like we saw last season with Ziggler.
100%.
Yeah, that's what absolutely notable political hit. One of the worst we'll see during this project. But 2 for me, shades of One Man Gang and Bigelow for WrestleMania 4. That's kind of what I was getting from this match.
Than that, honestly, at least.
Yeah. Brings us to match number 4. One of my personal favorite matches.
Wow.
This is for the Intercontinental title. We've got Shawn Michaels picking up the victory over Jeff Jarrett to regain the Intercontinental title. I believe this is his 3rd reign with the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, because he won it originally, then he traded with Marty.
Yeah. So 3rd reign for Michaels here. I went a full 5 on this one. I think this is just lightning in a bottle. I think it's perfect. I think Shawn still has a lot of Memphis to his work, a lot of Mid-South to his work. And Jarrett is the perfect guy to pull that out of him at this point. And again, we mentioned, at least I mentioned, I don't really think Michaels is still equipped to lead a lengthy match during this time period. And here he's hand in hand with Jarrett, and they just feed off of each other so well. Both guys play their parts perfectly. Brody plays his part perfectly as well. Hebner's really good in this. It's just one of those matches. Like, everybody, I think, does their job perfectly. The crowd is red hot. It's perfect. I think it's a lightning in a bottle match. This is absolutely perfect. And kind of, you get the win with the roadie to start the night. So you kind of think, all right, this is just going to be Jeff Jarrett's night. We had the performance, which we'll mention later in the show. But here you get Jarrett losing the Intercontinental title, which kind of throws a wrench into the night of Double J.
Yeah, and it's a classic. I love it. There's no interference. There's no chicanery. There's no weapons. There's no brawl. It's just a classic old school Southern match. Like, it's just pure. The pace is incredible. They do not slow down at all. The crowd, like you said, is feeding off of it. It's in the perfect location in Tennessee. You got the Jarrett ties. You got the Southern style ties. Michaels shows that he's also a multi-style worker at this point now, right? He's like we know he's a great tag worker. We know he can fly, right? We know he can brawl because we saw the ladder match with Razor. And we know he can bump. And now we see that he can work like a classic old school NWA style match. And that's what this is. I went 4. It's a great match. And I think the biggest compliment you can give it is that it wins over haters of both guys. Like, you're a staunch Shawn Michaels hater, and you just went 5. I remember like we did like a live watch one night or something. some project, and Jenny watches, and she hates Jeff Jarrett, like hates him, and she's like, "Oh, that was actually really a great match." Like I feel like on both sides, like even if you hate both guys, like you just end up really liking this match. It's hard not to. It's just fun, and it's funny because I feel like a trope of Jarrett's career at the WWF is every time he finally gets over, he leaves. And that's like he tried for 2 years to get over during this stretch. They gave him everything. He has this awesome match. He's singing like he's red hot coming out of the show, and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then 90, like he spends 2 years at 97, 98, 99, like trying to get over. He gets over red hot, and then he fucking leaves. It's like as soon as he gets hot every time, he's gone. And goes to WCW. It's just weird. But this is it for him. Like he goes back for 96 for like a blip, but like this is it. It's just crazy. Like the whole show is built around him and Rhodey. He has this amazing match and then he's gone. So that's great. Shawn is IC champion, a nice trade-off for the King of the Ring debacle. So it definitely feels like we're righting some of the sins from King of the Ring here a little bit in a few spots. All right. It's already main event time. It's a quick show. Semi-main. We have a tag title match. The match we probably should have had at King of the Ring. And then it's Owen Hart, Yokozuna versus the Allied Powers. 2.25 from me. I remember going into this. I would have bet any amount of money that the Allied Powers would win the tag titles. Like it was drawn up for them to take the belts, and they lose. And this continues the Lex Luger is a fucking choker storyline. Like he can't even win this fucking match. They have the cool mashup theme. They look great. Owen and Yoko are kind of treading water as champions. We're not having, the world title change. I feel like a nice time to switch the belts. And I think we know why coming off of this is they're refocusing on rebuilding Camp Cornette and having the tag belts there. But they lose them pretty quick with the new Camp Cornette forming in a few weeks anyway. So, I mean, look, we know Bulldog's going to turn like weeks after this. Why not have them win to get the moment? Have them lose on Raw, and then Bulldog turns after the loss because he's pissed or something. Like even if they lose him back to Owen Yoko, just give Luger something, give him fucking something, anything. Like he's just loses again here. So 2.25. This match should have been way better when you look at who's involved. But Luger's this dead man walking at this point in this company. Bulldog is washed as a face. Yoko and Owen have only been together for a few months. They already feel kind of played out as a team. So.
Yeah. 2.5 for me. If anything, this match understays its welcome. I was left wanting a lot more, but
just Yoko during 9 minutes, I think, if that.
Yeah, still Yoko during this time. He just, that's even in a tag setting, that's too much for him. So I wish that they were capable of more. But that being said, ends up just being okay. And yeah, like you said, as a kid, I remember thinking like, all right, Allied Powers are going to win the tag team titles.
All day.
Yeah. It just felt like those guys were always on TV, whether it was Raw, Superstars, Action Zone, Challenge, which is like recapping Raw. Like it just felt like they were always represented on TV. So really felt like a natural fit for them to win the tag titles here. And we know Lex is towards the end of his contract, so I don't know if that was a hang up and them not putting the titles on them here, but definitely feels like a missed opportunity that those guys were never tag champs together.
It is a shame that we're not going to get the mashup Luger Allied Powers theme for our rules because they're done after this. Maybe we can sneak it in one of these episodes because it is a GOAT theme.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
With the lights.
Dun, dun, dun. And they look cool. And the gear wasn't forced. It looked awesome, but it wasn't forced.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. All right, now it's time for our main event.
Here we go. It is the Lumberjack match. 15 of Diesel's friends, 15 people paid off by the $1 Million Corporation. We've got Diesel defending and retaining the World Wrestling Federation Championship, defeating Psycho Sid, but not without moving towards our next program of Mabel and Diesel, as we get Diesel doing some damage, or Mabel doing some damage to Diesel in this match. We get Shawn's cool dive onto the pile. That's enough Shawn praise for the night, and we get Diesel up. So I went 2. I remember this being built up really well. I remember a lot of excitement. I remember tuning into the Scramble Vision version of the show just to try to figure out, like,
watching it live for the main event.
try to figure out like what's going on. Just trying to imagine like 50, 30 guys on the outside. It's like a Royal Rumble on the outside, and yeah. So the real thing doesn't live up to my imagination. But this is much better than King of the Ring. And thankfully we're done with this.
1.5 for me. I tried. I'd always remember this being better than In Your House 1. But I think I ended up, let me look quick. Would have been higher in Your House 1. Yeah, I wanted to. So In Your House 1's a little bit better, I guess. In this rewatch. One of my big issues is like the finish is terrible. Like Diesel whiffs on the boot and Sid just kind of falls down. Like it's pretty bad, the ending. Like Sid's run feels like he's so hot after Mania when he takes out Shawn on Raw and just ends up being a complete fucking waste.
Steal Shawn's thunder doing that promo at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like he's so good.
Oh, he's awesome in that promo. And it's like, this is terrible. And you get the gut punch in the match where Mabel attacks Diesel on the floor, and it's right. Boom. All right. We know in that moment, SummerSlam is definitely Diesel Mabel because Mabel attacks him and they make a big point about it. So that's like another red flag that's happening. The Lumberjacks are a cool visual. Diesel and Shawn are cool together. Like they have a fun vibe. They feel like a big deal. Their promos are good, but Diesel's not being given anyone to work with. Just nothing. It's like having a good quarterback just with no weapons. So I think he takes a lot of the brunt for this season and this year in his title reign. And toward the end, I think you can do that. But like for a lot of this, they're not giving him much to work with, like at all. Like this run of challenges is dog water. Here are the Lumberjacks, by the way, which is probably outside of the 95 Rumble, maybe the worst collection of talent in history. It's Eli Blue, King Mabel, Sir Mo, the late Sir Mo, R.I.P. IRS in his final appearance, King Kong Bundy, way past his fucking expiration.
Whoa.
Tatanka on fumes. Henry O. Godwin, Rad Radford, Skip, Tom Pritchard, Jimmy Del Rey. I think it's Del Rey's last appearance. Jacob Blue, Jean-Pierre Lafitte, Mantar, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Bam Bam Bigelow, Ramon, Savio Vega, 1-2-3 Kid, Man Mountain Rock, Adam Baum was at the end of his rope, Bob Holly, Duke Drosy, Fatu, Billy Gunn, Bart Gunn, Travis and Troy, Texas Team 2000, their only appearance, and then Shawn Michaels, of course. I mean, just a who's who of slop out there. Just, yeah. Again, you're going to close with Diesel, but man, like Shawn Jarrett would have been a great main event for the show. But I do like the visual of ending with Diesel and Shawn with the belts, like establishing the two dudes with attitudes as the top of your company. But you know what's going on backstage too, where the Clique is usurping power by the day, right? We're starting to really hit their peak as a group, as a conglomerate taking over the locker room. Really manifest here in 95. And you can see it here already where they're standing tall on top of the whole roster. Bigelow feels he's kind of a little bit like the friend that tags along at the end of this match, but he's cooked soon enough as well. So, all right. So that gives us a total war score of our match grades for 1.25. So better than King of the Ring, still on the lower end of in-ring. Nothing
Sparkling.
on the show besides the IC title. All right. Let's get to our categories. We'll get over the build. The pros, we have 1-2-3 coming for revenge on Rhodey after he injured his neck. A point for Ramon and Vega coming for revenge on Men on a Mission from the King of the Ring attack. A point for Godwin working with DiBiase. There's rumors he may be joining the corporation. Bigelow's working through him to try and get to DiBiase. A point for Diesel and Sid. They've been going at war since WrestleMania. And they really built the hell out of Jarrett tonight. For sure. They put a lot of time and effort into hyping the show and the performance. And it really been 2 years in the making because when he debuts it in late 93, his whole goal is to use the WWF as a stepping stone to a music career, right? So like that's his whole thing. And he finally reaches that moment here. Is this, I believe, I don't know, Tim, if you can verify. I thought there were rumors that this actually charted like on the country charts at one point locally or something. I don't know if that was like a joke or real, but anyway, it's a big deal. All right, let's get to the cons, Marcus. What do we got?
Cons for event build. No build for Michael's chase to the IC title. Jeff Jarrett's doing his own thing up with his baby tonight. And no true build for the Allied Powers taking on Yoko and Owen, which again feels like it should have been a really big tag match here in the summer. But
and they had issues at King of the Ring, right? Because Bulldog and Owen, I think, had a double draw that took them out of the tournament. And then Yoko and Luger fought in the qualifying match. So they had some, and of course, they have a lot of history together, all four guys, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt like there was more that could have been played into besides just throwing it together. So that gives us a total build score of 3. So not bad. Decently built.
All right.
You know, we saw the trailer within your house 1, right? Like not a lot going on, but they do a good job focusing on it. All right, let's get to commentary. Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler were our commentators. Vince brings a big energy to everything. So a point for that. A point for Big Al on the guitar.
Yes.
Yeah, we talk about Big Al in your house 1. He's the guy who does the Superstar song. He's playing guitar in the band when Jarrett performs with My Baby Tonight here. I think he's in the Raw band as well. He's got the mullet and the sunglasses. Big Al. Point for Vince. He really hits the moment of Sean's win. Like he's really, really good in that match. No proof of baby with My Baby charting anywhere. Bogus. Damn it. I still believe. Point for Vince bringing up Luger and Yoko's history. So even though we don't get a build to the match, he at least touches on it. And a good job by Vince connecting Nashville and the dreams of superstardom to the wrestlers' motives. And, you know, Nashville is where kind of the musicians go to get found, you know, seen and noticed. And kind of that's what a lot of the wrestlers do as well. So Vince had a good night here in Nashville.
Yeah. All right. Our cons for commentary. We've got King's Casual Racism. King's Elvis Hair. It's pretty absurd tonight. And Vince begging cable operators to let the show go to 8:58 as it runs long.
Vince loves begging on air, whether it's USA Network, pay-per-view operators, fans to stay with us through technical difficulties. He's a big modder on air, loves to beg. Yeah, decent amount of commentary. Total war score there is 2. Atmosphere here in Nashville tonight. We get a point for a good job leading into that Nashville theme. The look, the vibe, the opening theme.
Yeah.
It feels like we're at a country atmosphere. A point for the crowd being into the 1, 2, 3 kid. A point for the big pop for Razor Ramon. A point for the cool touch having the band play Jarrett live for his match. Like they backed him up for With My Baby Tonight, but then they play his song live when he comes out for his match as well, which is cool. A point for the crowd being red hot for everything in that match. Like all the gear, the matchup, the pop for Michael's winning. We actually went +3. This is an all-time IC title moment match. Everything about it. I think when you think of it, you think of Jarrett's baby blue. You think of Sean with the white, you know, Rhodey with the cow print, like the crowd being nuts, Sean winning the belt, the tope, just everything about it hits. A point for the Allied Powers mashup theme, all-time gold song. A point for the good pop for Diesel and Michaels in the main event. They come out together solo outside of the other Lumberjacks. And then showcasing Nashville, it already makes it different from In Your House 1. Because one of the things you might worry about is like In Your House 1, 2, 3, like how are these shows going to stand out? Feel different. Like this already feels different, right? Because they're leaning heavily into a different theme. And we'll see if that continues. But for right now, it felt different than In Your House 1. You can tell them apart right away.
Yeah, and a rare for the World Wrestling Federation, probably wrestling in general. Like they're right on the pulse. Like they're catching the country swing. Like, you know, as we're doing NoSo 95, I was 6 then, but like I remember country just being a huge deal. You know, country stars were the new rock stars at the time. So being able to, you know, capitalize on the success and the popularity of Nashville and Tennessee in general and the country look and vibe of the show really helps us stand out. A rare win in that regard where wrestling is on the pulse of something. For our cons for atmosphere, we've got the crowd not caring about Men on a Mission at all that heat just going into Ramon. We get the crowd quiet for Jarrett's performance, probably because they're in shock and awe of how talented Double J is. The crowd dozes off a bit for Bigelow and Godwin. Tough to blame them. Crowd woke up hard for Bulldog and Luger and then die when they lose. And then you can feel the angst in the crowd as Mabel attacks Diesel. Obvious path now for the SummerSlam.
So we're finally getting through this awful Diesel Corporation slop, and then we go right into Mabel for him.
Yeah.
All right, total war score for atmosphere, 5. So pretty
All
good
right.
crowd. Pretty nice here. Nice rebound from our last show. I guess for King of the Ring. Notable moments. We give a 0.4. Went through the kid's first match since January since that injury. He's back in action. A point for Jeff Jarrett performing live with My Baby Tonight. Point for Shawn Michaels winning the IC belts. We give a +3 because we have more than 3 debuts. We have Fatu, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Techno Team 2000, Man Mountain Rock, Rad Radford, and Skip all debut as Lumberjacks. We also have a point for the Click taking over the company. Not saying it's good, but it's definitely a notable moment and very impactful in company history. And then a point for Mabel attacks Diesel to set up SummerSlam. So as much as we disagree with that choice, it's still a good build, a good moment, and it gives you the clear path to your SummerSlam main event.
Yeah, and it makes you feel like at least something happened on the pay-per-view. I remember that, like, coming out of the show, it was like, oh shoot, like, you know, something unplanned happened. There was a good talking point on TV following that.
Yep.
For our cons for notable moments, we've got Mabel pinning Ramon instead of Vega.
Yeah, why we already sacrificed Vega once. Let's do it again.
Yeah. We got the teasing all night of Lumberjack defection and nothing happens. You know, who's sold out, who's taking money, you know, the smoking guns rolled up in new pickup trucks.
It's a great promo.
Nothing ever comes to that. Yeah.
What about Adam Bomb?
well, King for does Doc even do that? I don't even remember who's doing that backstage.
It's Doc. It's a great
Doc? Okay.
Doc is a fucking madman on the show. We didn't talk about. He is all over the place, like backstage. He does that promo. He's trying to get with He hears Jarrett and Rhodey fighting at the end. He's like losing his shit in the hallway. Oh my god, they're fighting, man! I'm trying to figure out what's going on. He's really good on the show. He's funny. But that promo, I wish I don't know, Tim, if you could find it. I know it's kind of tight notice, but if you could find it before we wrap up, Doc interviewing the Lumberjacks and grilling them over like who may be sold out. You know, I saw the smoking guns in a new truck. You know, he's just going one by one through all of them. It's great. And the one backstage with Jarrett too is great. Yeah,
that one's great. We get King forcing in jokes about timely news. Double J and the Roadie quit the WWF the night of the massive angle that was 18 months in the making. Like you said, Jarrett always knows when to leave a territory. Side note, like, according to, I remember Jarrett's podcast, like, it's like Double J and the Roadie versus Undertaker had like just set the record for Raw, like most views or whatever. So like they're red hot during this time.
They're hot. Yeah, he finally got over.
Yeah.
Like Rhodey was working, everything was working. Yeah, that was weird.
Now, Click clearly taking over the company.
We give a plus and a minus for that one.
Yeah. Pretty fair. Luger's final WWF pay-per-view match goes out with a whimper. Never won the big one. -2. Big wasted potential and opportunity.
We'll see him at SummerSlam, but then he never wrestles again in the company.
Yeah,
this is his last pay-per-view match.
Yeah, and quiet last appearances for Bundy, Adam Bomb, Jimmy Del Rey, all as Lumberjacks.
All right, so that gives us notable moments score of 0.
All right, we'll take it.
No negatives. All right, let's get the card structure. Let's see if it can survive this. We give it a 0.4, starting hot in the ring with the return of the Kid. +2 for the Jarrett through line all show. It's really good done. It's really well done. It threads nicely from the opening of the show, hyping it. Rhodey winning the opening match. Jarrett tuning up during that match. Jarrett performs, celebrates, loses his IC title, and him and Rhodey melt down and leave. Like, it's a nice story throughout the show. A point for being a tight 2 hours. 6 matches. In your house is humming. No downtime. We're flying along. A point for a nice touch showing the unity of Diesel, the Lumberjack squad partying during Sean's win. They're all backstage. And then a plus for having a stip on Diesel Sid. Needed something. Two-man has it, but we'll wait a minute because I do think we talk about it rewatchability. So let's get through the rest of card structure. Marcus, go ahead, hit the negatives.
All right. For our cons for card structure, we got the live performance. It's a big piece of Double J's lore and story. The segment is very long with big promo and then the song and the celebration. We get Bigelow card slide. That continues. The political hit. Hart and Undertaker left off the show.
They're in dark matches, but they're not on the show.
Yeah. Luger chokes yet again. Easy call just to let them win. Again, why not? And it's timing for the show is off. It runs long. Express line main event as a result. Like you mentioned, Vince begging to stay on the air. And then the Lumberjack crew shows just how soft the roster is at this point, littered with junk again. Multiple guys making their both first and last appearances with the company.
All right, so that is a score of 0 for card structure. That's
All right.
Because every show is usually negative for card structure. All right, rewatchability. We have a point for the classic In Your House theme and opening and closing video. This is really the most memorable In Your House theme, I think. A point for Rhodey's top rope pile driver, just really sticks it. And unhinged lumberjack match interviews with Barry Didinsky's with the faces, the corporations acting insane, just maniacs. Ramon slamming Mabel off the top rope. I'm going to save the big one for last. Michaels with a big backdrop over the post of the floor. Point for that. Point for the Bulldog and Luger double back suplex on Yoko. The camera in the ring shake. That looked cool. A point for Jarrett's night. The concert, getting played to the ring, the match. One nice touch I like as well, after he finishes with My Baby Tonight, they start going into like just his theme song with the band while he's like talking to the crowd. And it always reminds me of like the end of Splash Mountain, where it's like they got to go back to a little fiddle music at the end. It's like we got this crazy performance, and then we just go into this nice soothing, and as he's talking. It was a cool touch that they're playing on the band. And then yes, a point for Doc Hendricks being an absolute maniac. He interviews the Lumberjacks, tries to figure out who's been selling out. He's starting shit. Later in the night, he's just losing his mind, explaining what happened with Jarrett the Road. Jarrett pushed Rhodey. Rhodey pushed Jarrett. And he's like just trying to narrate the whole thing to Vince. But Tim, if you could find the Jarrett Rhodey one, if you could find the Jarrett Rhodey one as well, we need that. If you can find it, I just said iconic night for Doc. My favorite all time is if we start in alphabetical order, we got to start with that. I'm like, how does that mean he sold out? His name first. Oh my Lord!
DiBiase made a list, and what do guys started with alphabetical order? Legendary. So makes sense. That a bomb.
Yep. All right, what are the cons here for our rewatchability?
All right, we've got Mo and Mabel looking silly, not like legit threats at all. Especially when Mo is your tag team workhorse. RIP Mo. But yeah, you're in rough shape there. They found the oldest relics in Nashville to sing backup for Jared.
Oh God! It's like they pulled the glamour girls out of retirement and put them out there.
Yeah, talent scouting or wrestling didn't quite get there till about what?
The Godfather,
Nitro Girls.
Girls, on WCW for WWF, The Godfather.
Yeah. So WWF was several steps behind. Terrible finish to Bigelow and Godwin. We get Michael whines multiple times about certain people not calling him for his birthday. Sid hitting the power.
That felt like a shoot during his click time of like being an asshole, because he says it like 2 or 3 times that like it's fine, no one called me for my birthday. That felt like a dig at like Vince or Brad or somebody. Like he was really pissed off because he says it multiple times, and we know he's a wicked prick at this time. So it definitely felt like he was trying to make a point that no one fucking wished him a happy birthday, or maybe Sonny didn't give him a birthday blowjob or whatever the hell he didn't get. Like he seems like agitated for sure.
Yeah, probably no condition to pick up the phone.
All right, finish the cons.
Two more here. We get Sid hitting the power bomb and then sauntering around, high-fiving the Lumberjacks, slowly covering Diesel, makes him look dumb. Flashbacks to WrestleMania 8 where he hits Hogan with the power bomb, and then we get the week finish the main event with Diesel, but the boot barely grazing Sid for the glazed boot finish.
Awful. All right, so that gives us a score of rewatchability 2 and no all-time matches. So pretty positive score. Slap on the door. It's the weakest slap of all time. Oh, fantastic. Just the movements. It was like a cartoon character. The Rhodey and Double J at the Rhodey. He's just all over the fucking place.
All on the fly, too, because Rhodey and Double J split. And so they're trying to pitch something on the fly to buy them some time. And Doc pays the rent with that performance.
So good. Banner night for the Doc. All right. Final score 13.25, 94th all time, just behind Roadblock 2016 and ahead of No Mercy 1999. So toward the back end, we have 165, I think, of these. So in the close to half, right? So not bad. Not as high as In Your House 1 was, but it doesn't have kind of the moments that show had. This was more of a flat show. Like, not a bad one, just Nothing really all-time bad, but nothing to carry it either. Like, so just kind of lived right around that 1 to 2 range, a lot of those categories. So not a bad place to be for a 95 show, honestly. I think it'll, by the end of the season, maybe one of the higher ones, I would think, with some of the ones we still have to come. All right, let's do our top 10, and we'll get out of here. Our 10th show of all time, Marcus, SummerSlam 2001 at 39 points.
Well, SummerSlam 2015 coming in at number 9 with a 39.25.
Number 8, we have WrestleMania 7 with 39.5.
Number 7, Vengeance 2005.
Number 6, SummerSlam 1990 at 42.
Top 5, Royal Rumble 2002 with a 44.
Number 4, SummerSlam 2005 at 46.5.
Number 3, WrestleMania 30 with a 47.25.
Number 2 is WrestleMania 22 at 56.5.
And number 1, ECW One Night Stand 2005 with a 79.
And I think we can confidently say we will not be touching that top 10 in this season. I don't think. We're more likely to hit the bottom 10 again, I think, before we hit
highly unlikely.
We'll see. There's one show that you have to at least maybe talk about toward the end of the year, but unlikely, very unlikely. So that'll do it for us. We'll be back in 2 weeks with SummerSlam 1992 as we face the Heat. Continue our way through this journey. Be sure to subscribe to the Final Wrestling Place Patreon. You get a lot of cool content from Marcus and producer Tim. And you can also check that out. They get some podcast content. You get Marcus's Opportunity Corner. Emails every day you come your way with his bets and a lot of other cool stuff. So check that out. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and Northside Connection. Follow us on all of our podcast apps. Another edition NoSo 95 special in the books. Continue to live your life above replacement level and enjoy your time with your baby.